Me. Welcome everyone to another session of the Volley 15. We have Peter back again. Peter is going to share some best practices with Pulse and walk through how you all can find some of the things that you'll actually be looking for. So, Peter, I'm going to kind of turn it right over to you.
Sure. Share my screen here and let's get cracking. For those of you that don't know, I spent a bunch of years in retail and automotive. And one of my favorite things to do back in the day, and this will date me a little bit, but I used to use Who's Calling pretty religiously to listen to calls for my salespeople and service advisors and anybody that was customer facing. And I would listen to those calls and I would write down notes in the morning before anybody got in. And then I'd write down notes at my lunch hour listening to calls. And I didn't have an awesome tool like Pulse to help me. So I had to actually listen to them. In Who's Calling, you could do it at 1.5 speed. And I got pretty good at it, but I had uncovered a lot of opportunities for making customers happy that I wouldn't have known about otherwise. With Pulse, we've tried to make that a lot easier. When we originally developed Pulse, our idea was this would be a great tool to help your agents make better phone calls. And it absolutely is. We've tried to make it easy, and we've got a bunch of features on the roadmap that will continue to make it easier, more automated, give you better visibility, alerting, etc. But as I've been going around to a bunch of our stores that are using this in their dealerships for QAing and helping their agents with coaching, I also kind of harken back to my old days in retail and realized that we were missing an opportunity at Volley to help you sell more cars and get more appointments by making your customers thrilled. So I'll walk you through some screenshots. I have them redacted today to protect the innocent. So that's why I'm doing it via screenshots and not live. But on the left-hand side of the Pulse menu on the inbox dashboard, there's a bunch of filtering menus. The easiest way that I've found to do this and do this really quickly is to select all of your organizations on the campaign filter. So choose a date range or just leave it at the default, and it will automatically put the most recent ones at the top. But if you select all of your organizations and then on the campaign name, you just search for something like inbound or something maybe that is more relevant to you. If this is a sales outbound campaign, you can search for those campaigns. You can either choose them or you can just put a blanket keyword. So for purposes of today and for purposes of some of the things I'm going through with dealers that are using Pulse, one of the big concerns is, are my agents turning customers away when they shouldn't be? Or are they missing opportunities to make the customer happy when they shouldn't be? So search for inbound calls, and then you just hit search. So I'll kill these here. And this is always really easy and really fast. And like I said, on the summary section, we've made it pretty easy to figure out what happened on the phone call. So I just took a few random calls from a few of our stores to protect the innocent. But in this case, this is a customer with the check engine light on. And one of the things that we've known from our Pulse model building and studies, as well as talking to all of our accounts, is that if you turn away a customer for emergencies, for tires, for lube oil filter, and for any other routine maintenance that your average Jiffy Lube or your competitor right across the road can do, you're effectively giving them the opportunity and inviting them to go see your competitor. So this is a case where customers got a check engine light on. Agent attempted in the past to help them, but there was a callback that was necessary. This is your chance as a BDC manager to get the service manager involved and get this customer called back. So that's one example. Here we've got another one where there was no appointments available, and this was an oil change. And so again, here, if you're turning your customers away because your schedule is too busy to fit in an oil change, they're going to go to Jiffy Lube. They're going to go to your competitor across the street. And so just a couple of calls highlighting customers calling in for maintenance and being told that scheduling is too far out for routine things. Again, you just almost can't turn people away for oil changes. They're going to go to Jiffy Lube. They're going to go somewhere else because they need them done. It's especially in the summer. People are going on road trips, vacations, etc. and they need this stuff done before they leave. So just a real quick overview of how I used to use Who's Calling, and now you guys can all use Pulse to do exactly the same thing. Quickly find opportunities, save those customers, give them a call back, surprise them and delight them by getting them into your schedule. Yeah, you might have to wait a little bit because we're pretty full today, but we're going to get your car maintained before you head out on vacation. So that's it for Pulse, how I would use Pulse to sell in my dealership.
So to clarify this, or not to clarify, but to add on, one of the things that we've constantly heard is Pulse is great, but it's so overwhelming, the number of calls we see in the dashboard and the number and the amount of information that we have. So we wanted to bring Peter on to talk about some of the ways you can filter and search today and some of the methodology that he would employ when using some of these calls and the Pulse tool. What are some of the things that this was designed for, and what are the things you all should be looking out for? So I hope that this was helpful and provided the clarity, and that's definitely what we're looking to get out of this. So thank you, Peter, for that.
Sure. Second thing on the list to go through today is maybe the most requested feature that we've ever had in the whole history of Volie. That's probably not true. It's probably the third most requested. And that is the ability to create appointments for your agents when there was no communication in Volie involved. And I'll give you a few examples. A lot of our agents at our stores still have desk phones. And if someone calls the main switchboard number, and periodically those agents will get a call forwarded to them on their desk phone, didn't go through Volie, the receptionist or someone handling the phone call just punted it upstairs to the BDC. Agent handles it, sets the appointment next time. But since a lot of you are using Volie to do your payroll and measure your agent's performance, that appointment doesn't show up within Volie, and therefore they don't get credit for it. We've added that ability in the customer profile today. They can also get to it from the communication center. Another super common one for those of you that are running sales BDCs is you'll be using VIN Solutions or eLead or DriveCentric to communicate back and forth with the customer via text or email. And you want those communications in your CRM because that's where your sales managers are using them. And the customer, again, the agent sets an appointment, wants to get credit for it. And so now they can very quickly and simply find that customer in Volie and create a manual appointment. So just like on the communication center, they choose their date and time. And this one, we have our new appointment picker set up. So instead of figuring out the time and manually typing in, they can just set it with the quick picks and set the appointment type, choose a vehicle if one, and then hit schedule the appointment. And that will schedule the appointment. We do flag these as manually entered or entered without a communication. So in the future, we will be rolling out a review board that will allow you as managers to take a quick glance and make sure that your agents aren't abusing this capability. This will also work for reschedules and cancels. So in the communication center or the customer profile, an agent could quickly go in here and reschedule or cancel an existing appointment, again, when there's no communication from Volie. So if the agent is getting a text or an email outside of the platform. Another common use case for this is some of you are using third-party tools for your web appointment scheduling, and you want your agents to get credit for those that they have assisted in driving them to the web appointment scheduler. So again, your agents can go in here without having to have you do it as the manager and put those appointments in. Super requested feature. We rolled it out just last night. Got a lot of excitement on it. This is an account-specific setting. So if you want to enable your agents to do this, please get with your customer success rep and they can get you turned on as soon as tomorrow morning, Friday, June 27th. So reach out to them if you want to get this turned on. If you prefer your agents not have this capability, that's why we made it a setting. So you can just leave it off and go on your merry way.
Sounds great. Peter, you said tomorrow morning?
Yes. Yep. So reach out to your customer success rep today or tomorrow. And although we rolled it out last night, we wanted to give everybody time to catch up and understand how this feature would be used and decide whether or not they wanted to implement it. So we did not turn it on for everybody, and you can reach out to your CS rep to get it enabled.
Awesome. We did have one question. Are we able to attach a campaign to these, or are they solely outside of campaign appointments that we're scheduling?
Right now, they are solely outside of the campaigns.
Okay. Well, great. You're 100% right. We've all heard this one. We heard this one um, literally just a couple days ago on one of our 20 group calls. Um, so great news there. So thank you everyone for joining. That is all we have for today. I do see one other hand raised, though I don't think I can let you speak on here. If you can get your question typed in the next minute, we'll get to that. And because we do have a minute here. Peter, you know any jokes to kill a minute?
Oh boy. Oh, I got a good one. Where does a dad keep his jokes?
Where?
In a database.
Someone typed in to the thing in the database. That's great.
That's clutch.
That is
You want
clutch.
another one?
Um, yeah, let's go one more, and then we'll wrap if the question hasn't come in, but that was great.
Why does a duck have feathers?
Why?
To cover up their quack.
And on that note, everyone, thank you all for joining us for today's. Oh, just a lot of ha-has coming in. So on that note, thank you everyone for joining us for today's session. Please reach out if you do have a question that we can get to down the road. Really, really appreciate you joining. We hope you're excited about Pulse and learning how you can really dive into some of these to be very, very efficient and effective. And we hope that you are excited for this appointment scheduling because, again, we've heard this a lot and we hope that you've enjoyed these jokes. So have a great day, everyone.
Everyone. Thanks, Jake.
Yep, bye-bye.